Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing very well. Okay, today's video I'm super excited for. We are going to be talking about Trisha Paytas going on Rainn Wilson's podcast. If you do not know who Rainn Wilson is, you will know Dwight from The Office, one of my all-time favorite shows. And damn, I guess everyone has a podcast these days, and you better stay tuned because my one's coming next week. Oh, as you know, I've been out here filming. I'm actually filming with Joshua David Evans in a couple hours, which I'm super excited for. I have like 10 that I'm going to be filming over the next week. So yeah, seems that everyone has a podcast and room for more, I guess. All right, we're going to be talking about this for the reason that Trisha's really opening up in this podcast about kind of breakdowns she's had, big moments in her life. And she very much so is talking about 2021 and the fallout ending of frenemies. Now, as we're all aware, Trisha really doesn't speak about frenemies anymore and really doesn't speak about Ethan anymore. And I have already seen that none other than Ethan Klein has already responded to this and already uploaded it as a YouTube video highlight, which is just so ironic, again, that Trisha Paytas has, gone through shit for talking about Ethan so much, which, do not worry, she did. She did. And then she's kind of changed and turned this new leaf where she doesn't really address Ethan anymore. And it very much so seems like Ethan is the one that talks about Trisha more than anything else. And it's funny because Trisha really hasn't given Ethan any bones, over the last maybe year or so. And by the way, I'm just going so unfiltered. Hi, H3 subreddit. I know you fucking hate me anyway. I'm sure Ethan will watch this and try to insinuate that I'm a predator again like he did with his mom. Hey guys, none of your opinions are really going to sway me on this because I think it's really unfair that Trisha got so much criticism, but Ethan doesn't get criticism for doing the same thing. So, hi everyone. Hope you're doing really well. Thank you so much for watching. But yeah, I just think it's super ironic that Trisha really hasn't given Ethan anything to work with in terms of talking about her, yet he still manages to, obviously. And the first kind of inkling of Trisha addressing that time period, H3 have already covered it very quickly, which is just, if Trisha did that, they'd really be on her ass. But anyways, we are going to watch the clip now. Spill the tea with me. So spill some tea with me on TikTok. Hi, hope you're doing well. It really helps with uploading these clips. And we have this one in which Trisha, like I said, is talking about her life and all the breakdown of that era. But before that, let's get to this. Muckers, I'm super excited to let you know that today's video is yet again sponsored by adamandeve.com, who are the longest running sponsor we've ever done. And the reason for that is the deal is amazing. You guys are so supportive of it. They've been so supportive of my channel through everything, and I'm just really proud to stand behind them. Now, we all know the deal. So it's if you go to adamandeve.com and use code ADAM50, you will get 50%, literally half off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. Now, there's shipping everywhere else as well, do not worry. This is maybe the first time I'm ever doing this deal when I'm in America, so maybe I'll be going on there. So here's the thing, Adam and Eve have 90-day no-hassle returns, so even if you don't like the product, which you will, anytime I do one of these sponsor videos, you'll always see people in the comments be like, oh, I got something last month, or I'm getting something this month, or I just got it, and people will give honest reviews. So I don't need to big it up because you can really just kind of read other muckers' opinions on the products. But if you're not satisfied, you obviously have that 90-day window. Now, 24/7 customer service, and also I love standing behind them because not only are they over 50 years in the game, but a bunch of their proceeds goes to helping fighting the spread of HIV all around the world, which is just incredible, and I'm really proud to stand behind them with that. They have so many things on their website. They have things if you're single, if you're in relationships. They also have just a lot of really good health things over there. There's so much on that website. So if you do, it is a really big support of my channel if you use the code. It is ADAM50 for 50% off one item and free shipping in the US and Canada on adamandeve.com. Thank you, muckers. Thank you, Adam and Eve, for your continued support. And yeah, this is one of the biggest supports of my channel, so thank you so much to everyone who uses the code ADAM50. On with the video. So thank you so much to everyone that uses that code because it is the biggest support of my YouTube channel. I genuinely mean that. All right, let's get to this.
Using pills, using sex, seeking fame, the ups and downs of that. What was your lowest point, and what sought you to kind of seek perhaps a spiritual path out of what you were experiencing?
Damn, heavy ass question. Oh my God.
I've had a couple low points. 2007, 2019, I had 2 overdoses that landed me in the hospital. But it actually was 2021 when I had an actual psychotic break where I was like, ooh, nothing's working. Because 2021, I've done the therapy, I've done the DBT. I thought I had everything under control. But, there was just like one event online, like sort of like a cancellation. And I've been through so many, but there was one specific cancellation that like,
What
honestly,
happened?
it's like traumatic. I've never talked about it. Like it's online. I think if people know, they know, but it's actually, and a lot of it was.
Can you talk about it here? Is this a safe space?
It is, but I don't know if the internet's a safe space. Because you know what? Because it is still so fresh, right? Like it's a few years ago. A lot of it was brought on by me. I would say like 90% of it was definitely brought on by me because I couldn't handle the triggers that I was able to. There was just a situation I was in that triggered me a lot. And I'm putting it all on me.
All right. So right off the bat, we already know that Trisha is referring to frenemies here and the constant back and forth. And now, unpopular opinion, I've said this before and so many people disagree with me. I think we see over every social media platform, people are like, I miss frenemies. I want frenemies back. And honestly, like my opinion has always been, we do not need frenemies back. Frenemies, personally speaking, was great. I really enjoyed it. And it was a great distraction during the pandemic because that was really what it was. But if we're being honest, you can't expect frenemies to come back, nor should we want it. Like, regardless of what your opinion is of Trisha, you should be able to acknowledge that Trisha was in a bad situation on frenemies, as I would think that Ethan was as well. It was just toxic all around, right? Whether people want to rewrite history or not. And that's fine for that era, I guess, not really. But Trisha has children now and is living a very completely different life than what she was back then. And it's irresponsible for people to kind of keep pushing this bring frenemies back narrative. And we even have Ethan being like insinuating that he would want it back at certain times if family drama wasn't involved. And it's like, yeah, it would benefit maybe both parties in terms of views, but it should be, it's incredibly parasocial for an audience to kind of demand a show back, knowing that one of the people involved will probably be pushed to the brink of a mental collapse again. Like, it's super selfish, if I'm being completely honest. And I think, regardless of what your opinion is of Trisha, I think you can acknowledge that she has children now that she needs to take care of, and she very much so has made an effort to live a different life. And it's so ironic to me because people will always downplay how different Trisha is now by being like, oh, well, she did this in the past. And I'm like, yeah, no one's taking away from that, but the full thing that people preach for is change and accountability, and whether or not you believe that Trisha has done those things, I think everyone can acknowledge that Trisha Paytas now is very different, whether it's just a front, than Trisha Paytas a couple years ago. And if that's not being acknowledged, and everyone keeps going back to, oh, well, in 2021, she did this to Ethan or whatever, well, clearly she's the one moving forward, and Ethan keeps rehashing it, regardless of your opinion of these people involved. I think it's very clear to see that. And she doesn't talk about it a lot. Sure, she talked about it a fuck ton back then. She really started a lot of shit back then, and she will openly acknowledge that. And it's just so funny because people will always be like, oh, here, Adam goes defending Trisha on Trisha's payroll, and then you'll have other people being like, oh, Adam's too harsh on Trisha. Then you'll have people being like, Adam's in Ethan's pocket, and then you'll have people being like, wow, Adam has a hate boner for Ethan. And I'm like, bitch, I'm just gonna have my opinion on it, and my opinion is that I believe that it is Ethan that encourages this more than what Trisha does, but I believe that Trisha encouraged it more back in the moment. Is that a fair statement? I think so. I'm giving both of them, their little punch, and then I'm giving both of them their little praise, you know what I mean? And yeah, she doesn't talk about this a lot.
On me and like not on anyone else. Like it triggered me so much, and I thought I was like strong enough to like handle these triggers, but it didn't work. So I had a psychotic break in September of 2021.
What happened?
I went online. It's deleted now. I just went on Twitter. It wasn't even YouTube. And I just was like screaming, sobbing. Like I couldn't control myself. Like I couldn't breathe. Just like shouting at people to like leave me alone.
And let me just pause you right there. What is it about you? And I'm just really trying to understand this. Like I'm so activated. I'm so angry. I'm so triggered. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm about to just lose my shit. I'm going to have a psychotic break.
Yeah.
But I got to log in and hit live stream and put it in the tripod and press it and make sure my light's on, and now I'm gonna have the psychotic break.
Well, the lights weren't on.
Here's the thing. I don't think that Rainn Wilson should be the person having this conversation. For Trisha not speaking about it, I think it's very weird that this is the first time it's really being brought up at this capacity, because Rainn Wilson is very clearly not understanding the gravity of the situation. And also to kind of put Trisha's very clear mental breakdown down to for clout and attention and setting the camera up. And when you watch those videos were not polished. Those videos of Trisha having a psychotic breakdown on Twitter, screaming and crying and not making any sense and speaking so quickly. There was no lighting involved. There was no budget involved. There was no hair and makeup involved. There was no angles involved. Like, it's completely irresponsible to kind of write all this off, that Trisha Paytas was, like, planning this for a big video. It's very clear if you were involved back then, or at least just saw it, that that's not the case at all. And again, I don't think he's doing a good job at the interview here. I think either he should have researched it before, or he shouldn't be insinuating what he is currently insinuating, because if you were involved, you'll know that that was not the case. You know what I mean?
What's the deal with that, though? What is that impulse? And again, is it because you're getting that reward from doing it? The more that you have kind of nervous breakdowns online, then you get, the money truck backs up, or what?
I think in the past it would have been, but this was...
Here's the thing as well. Trisha in 2021, I think, was a very different Trisha than we were seeing than past Trisha, trolling or not. I think she hides behind that a lot. I used to be a troll. I think she hides behind that a lot. But in 2021, I think that was a very different situation. People need to remember that Trisha was literally at her lowest, and also her career was really in the shitter. It's great that she has Just Trish and stuff now, but, Ethan and H3 were on this super high after Frenemies and people taking their side, and Trisha's channels were tanking. Like, Trisha was getting terrible views, her videos were not great, and she was constantly going on these, like, manic spirals. Like, it was not a great time for her. And again, I do believe she hides behind the I was a troll thing too much. And that's what she's doing here in terms of in the past it was a troll. But it's true in this case, you know what I mean? Putting aside that I feel like she hides behind the troll thing, 2021 was completely different, in my opinion. And maybe that's parasocial. Maybe we were all being lied to. But if it wasn't real, I believe that Trisha would be talking about it more often than she does. She doesn't talk about this era. So I don't think Rainn is doing a great job here, I'm going to be honest.
The reason I mentioned Twitter is because, like, you couldn't monetize Twitter back then. So I remember putting it because to me, it was like I said, I've been canceled. I've been in so many feuds. Again, a lot of my doing. I was drama.
I'm going to slow you down here because I want to get. There's a lot of big generalizations. I want to get like real more specific. Like
one thing I've never talked about, and because I've healed so much, because it was literally like, and this sounds so silly because it's like I've been through like literally sexual assault when I was a kid by like teachers, like crazy shit. But this like one event, I don't know, it's just something I haven't processed or worked through quite yet. And because it took years for me to like fully get through it, and maybe I'm not even fully get through it, otherwise I could talk about it. Again, I think people, like, if they know, they know. And it's all, I put the blame on me because I couldn't handle the triggers. But in answer to your question of like why film it, right, is because I feel like when you feel like the whole world is against you, you want people to see the pain. But then people can say, this is manipulative, this isn't real. But I was in so much pain that I just wanted people to be like, look, I'm breaking down. Like, I quit. I'm surrendering. Please stop talking about me. Like, I'm done. Like, and that's what I wanted people to see. But it backfires, right? Because obviously in the storm of cancellation, people are like, you're being manipulative. This is fake tears, which kind of makes it worse for the person then going through it, right? Like, it was real. But for me, I just felt like if people could see the hurt, like, because I used to do that to like boyfriends, to anyone. Like, I wanted them to see that I was actually in pain, but it kind of backfires. So it doesn't really work that way, which now I haven't cried or had a breakdown online since then. And I'm so happy and much prouder for
3 years without a gigantic online breakdown. Congratulations.
Are we knocking on wood? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a big fever.
Again, I feel like if he knew what actually happened, he wouldn't be making jokes about 3 years without a massive breakdown, because there was so much involved in that 2021 thing for Trisha. Again, there was a sense that maybe her career was going down a path that would never recover from. Mentally at her worst. Like, I understand he's an interviewer and stuff like this, but he's not doing a great job on this topic. I think this conversation very much so focuses on mental health, and I don't think that he understands the gravity. I'm not saying he doesn't understand the gravity of mental health, but he doesn't understand the gravity of Trisha Paytas' mental health at that stage. And I think boiling it down to posting videos on Twitter of yourself crying doesn't really scratch even the surface of what happened during that era. And it's why we're still talking about it to this day. It was a lot. And yeah, I just don't think he's doing a good job at this.
Feel free to have one here, though. That would be...
And you know what? And it does feel like that. Like, I don't know.
And again, he was like, feel free to have one here. Like, he's just not doing a great job with this. I'm going to be real.
But I'm like, I can talk to you. You understand. Like, I just feel, but yeah, I think because I've done so well of just like not talking about it, because I just never want to come across as like a victim or poor me, because like in this situation, like I really don't think I was. It just was like a lot for me to handle at once. And for some reason, I couldn't psychologically handle it back then.
So you psychotic break, 21, cancellation, everything, and what happened then. I love to hear the stories of like Phoenix from the ashes, like point where you were at and what handholds you found to get yourself out of it. Because ultimately at Soul Boom, we're looking for spiritual tools to help us in our personal transformation and societal transformation. So
I love that.
What the damn hell is this podcast?
This psychotic breakdown, I should also mention, was very different than anything else I have experienced, in the sense that I was like hearing voices during this era, right? From 2020 to like 2021, when I was getting triggered a lot. And it's something I should have shut down. I definitely should have shut down like anybody triggering me, but I don't know. You know, I just play along with it because for so long in my life, I'm like, this is what makes money. So I think I was already conditioned to be like, well, triggers are funny. And when I get triggered, people like it. And then people do like it until they don't, right? And then they're like, this is too weird.
That's such a weird, self-fulfilling like circle, you know, snake eating its own tail of like, you know, everyone looking at me causes me a breakdown and I get canceled. But when I break down, then I make money and I get even more attention and more people are looking at me. And then that makes me have another breakdown. Like it's
Again, at its core, what he's saying is true in terms of like making money by having breakdowns online. But again, it is so insensitive on the basis of like this story, specifically with the 2021 one, that it just isn't really good. It's not like he's not handling this well. Like, that's such a general statement, and I think you could accuse Trisha Paytas of that in the past. But I don't know, I just think as an interviewer, you would have picked up on how much she's choosing not to talk about this. And I don't know what the hell the purpose of the podcast is, I guess some soul searching shite, but like, don't know. It's not coming across good.
I feel like that's what's happening to America. I feel like you're America right now.
Oh, wow. I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe it's accurate.
He goes, you're America, and she goes, oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Okay.
Hopefully that means America's going to heal soon, because I'm on a healing journey.
You're on a healing journey, and we need to get America on a healing journey.
We might. I think this is the year, right? Something will switch, hope.
Not the comparison of America is in its Trisha Paytas era. I don't know if America's ready for that. I don't know if the people are ready for that.
Hopefully for everybody. Hopefully it's not 2020.
I hope so. I hope so. But continue. So you're at this low point, cancellation, documenting this, but voices, what's up?
Yeah, I really thought like schizophrenia or something. Like I really thought I was developing this like later in life. I was like, whoa, this is crazy, because I was hearing voices, which some people would call them like intrusive thoughts, I guess, but mine were like actual voices where I'm like talking to the person in the room with me, you know what I mean? So I don't know the difference between intrusive thoughts and what I was feeling, because I felt like there was people and I was talking to them in the room. So it was definitely scary. I definitely
All right, well, I just wanted to watch that little clip, right, that I saw on the Spill the Tea with me. Now, the thing is, I think this was a really good clip to watch, because I think it highlights the problems with this podcast. And I have seen since, the reason that I wanted to watch this little clip is because I want to show you this. So this has turned into a really big conversation online, that this creator has made this video, and it is called, I Didn't Like the Interview with Trisha and Rainn Wilson. And Trisha's commented on it and said, thank you for this and your support. I really appreciate it. I don't think he was familiar at all with this part of my life, like you mentioned. It's a lot of lore to keep up with. I feel very seen by this and validated that you understood almost exactly what I was saying. Means so much more. Thank you. So you may as well watch this as well.
I'm a huge Trisha fan, and I've been for literally ever, no matter what she did, I was always like on Team Trish, right? Well, the new interview just came out and everyone is so happy about this interview, and I've watched it twice and I have an opinion. I feel like the interviewer was mocking her. I'm glad that she didn't open up too much to him, because everything that she was saying, there was so many pauses and moments where he would mock her for posting it online. And I understand why someone could feel like that, but as someone that's watched her since she's been on YouTube since the beginning, my thoughts and feelings on that are just very different. Trish was a very, very lonely person with a lot of mental health issues, but in her deep core was so lonely and so lost. I, in my own personal life, have posted things throughout the years that I definitely shouldn't have when I was upset. And a lot of that was out of wanting to be heard, wanting to be validated, loneliness. There's mental health involved. There's a lot that's involved with that. I'm much more careful about what I would ever post now. But back in the day, I was very reckless with that. Very. And Trish, I mean, she's famous for it. But I didn't like that he mocked her multiple times, saying things like, along the lines of like, oh, well, so you just, go ahead and whip out your camera and get your hair ready and put the lighting ready. It's like, if you actually watched her videos, that's not what she did. She looked a wreck most of the time because she was a wreck on the inside. The lighting was never, like, I'm not understanding why he thought it was this whole production. She doesn't even edit. So I didn't really care for the interview. I loved seeing her in an interview fashion like that, but I want to see her being interviewed by someone that genuinely cares about her.
All right, well, we will leave it there, but yeah, my overall take on it is Trisha doesn't talk about this a lot, and I think I agree with this creator that I'm glad she didn't open up so much, because I don't think that Rainn Wilson was the right person to have this conversation with, and obviously he was asking about it. And I also wonder why she went on the podcast, because I don't really see Trisha doing many things like that anymore. But anyways, yeah, I think the conversation about mental health is very important, and I think as well it has to be done in the right climate, and it has to be done with someone that understands a lot of the lore. And I think Trisha being like, I understand that he doesn't understand the lore, but also I don't think he should be making jokes or laughing about something that he doesn't know the lore about. That is your job as an interviewer. Specifically if there's a purpose of soul searching, you know what I mean? Maybe search. Maybe search in general for research. Yeah. Well, I will talk to you later. I hope you're all doing very well, and I will see you in my next one. And please use that code, Adam50 on adamandeve.com. Goodbye.